Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insight, and we go as guided. Action-packed, we are dealing with the Saturn Neptune conjunction that just occurred on the 20th of February at 0 degrees Aries. That critical point, it's that creation point. We are dealing with Mercury retrograde, which begins today, and we are dealing with the eclipse energies. We're in the middle of them, and of course the sun in Pisces. Welcome, Colleen. Welcome, Alicia. So let's jump in. There's so much to get to. Let's just take a quick look. We're wrapping up February 2026. Very volatile, action-filled month. Welcome, Heather. And so we have the receptive force. We have triple ones, so the triple creative force to initiate. We have 25, which is innocence to open. That in essence, that leads the way through our innocence. That leads the way. That guides us forward. And we're going to break this up a little bit, but I want to remind everyone, 2026 is the year of the unseen, called the Great Awakening, the Great Unfolding, and it's literally unfolding us, kind of like an onion or a flower. It's like peeling the layers back to get to what's at the center, what's at the heart of everything. And there's this beautiful verse that's from Isaiah 43:18-19. Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And so this is all about the renewal that 2026 ushers in, and that Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees Aries, which hasn't happened in 6,000-ish years. It's all about not just renewal, but this making of new things, a whole new world, a whole new way of doing things. And with all of these ones, it's about, and it's number one from the unseen. They said, time to initiate, take flight, release what no longer serves you. And then it was the lyrics from the song by Kelly Clarkson, Piece by Piece, that the message is to take things a step at a time, piece by piece, and just keep listening to what's unfolding, what's being made new for you, so that as you're doing it, so it's not to become overwhelmed, is what the unseen is getting to. And is when we take it piece by piece, step by step, we'll know, intuitively, we'll know what to do. And remember, they had said, look no further, not this, not that. Allow things to unfold. And in that takes great faith, great fortitude, great patience, great perseverance. But there's a purity in it. There's a truth in it. And then we just have to show up and walk through or cross the threshold through the door to allow that new to unfold, to reveal itself. But it's time to initiate, take flight, release what no longer serves you. So now, and then we're going to jump into our main themes. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then we're going to come back to them. So our main theme is the voice of reason. Magic abounds. Dragonfly medicine revisited. So we're going to come back to this because I want to jump in first with a few of the astrologers. This is astrologer Chani Nicholas, and it's her The Weekly, issue number 104. And she says, it's getting messy. Embrace being a hot mess this week. Mercury, the planet of communication, stations retrograde in Pisces today, Wednesday, dialing up dreaminess and delusion. Double check everything, clarify the details, and notice when you're being a space case. Mercury is also the ruler of next week's eclipse, and it's a lunar eclipse in Virgo. So anything related to comms, communication, or technology has the potential to go haywire. The plot twists even further when Mars, the planet of action, that's that creative force, the planet of action forms a challenging square with Uranus. So a square is a frictional aspect. It's a planet of disruption. If surprises in your personal life or in the collective throw you off your game, take a beat and regroup. And remember that your people are there to help you get through it. When retrograde Mercury links up with Venus, the planet of love and beauty, at the end of this week, acts of kindness and connection will go a long way. So plan something fun with your friends and send all the I love you texts. Just make sure you use the right emoji. It is retrograde season after all. So with Mercury stationing retrograde today, it was in its pre-shadow. It'll have its post-shadow. It's from the 25th of February to the 20th of March. And there's about a 10-14 day window on each end of it, pre and post. So again, check things, recheck things. It is going to be in Pisces. There's a lot of planets in water signs at this moment before they shift into the fire and air elements. So again, emotions will be high. It's kind of like there's a lot of internal reflection and review. And Mercury is great for putting an RE in front of something. So to revisit, relook, revitalize, regain, whatever it may be, put an RE in front of it. This is where we are. So that's Chani Nicholas, astrologer Chani Nicholas. And now it is Juliana McCarthy, the astrologer with etherealculture.com. Saturn Neptune conjunction. The fabric of reality changes. The Saturn Neptune conjunction perfects at 0 degrees on February 20th, 2026. That's when they came together at 0 degrees, 44, 45 arc minutes. This is the most significant transit of the year, and also, in millennia, beginning a new 36-year cycle, meaning the Saturn-Neptune cycle. Saturn, which represents form, structure, and discipline, meets Neptune, ruler of dreams, disillusion, and transcendence, at the very first degree of the zodiac. This is the equinox point that archetypally carries both the excitement and pain of new life. So you see in that Isaiah, that the unseen God is creating anew. And then there's this point of excitement and pain because it's uncomfortable. We're leaving behind what we've known to accept and receive what's unknown, but what's new, what's being created new. Old paradigms are collapsing as new visions materialize. This is when we take leaps of faith while committing ourselves to build with integrity. Those who hold viable ideals and the will to manifest them will thrive. Those clinging to expired realities may find the ground giving way beneath them. So this is not about a time to cling to. That's that old train that's coming into the station. It's done. It's ending. So it is about crossing the platform and getting on the new train. In the wake of the solar eclipse and lunar new year, the world is brimming with new energies. Fresh chapters and timelines are finally unfurling. It's important we pay attention to where we place our thoughts and intentions now. Momentum is building enormously. So this is really about making sure where And especially with Mercury retrograde and all these intense energies, and then the water elements, the emotions, it's to really keep checking yourself to make sure that when something heavy comes upon you, it's okay, feel it, and then convert it, transmute it, and come back to your center that says, I know, with my deep faith, my knowing, all will be fine. What I need to do is show up, step up, show up, walk over the threshold, through the fire, get to the other side. Wherever we point our ships, the wind is ready to catch our sails. A new reality is now taking root. And this pointing of our ships, and Juliana McCarthy with etherealculture.com, this is reminiscent of the Three of Wands, the creative force that we'll come to in a moment, the Three of Wands. And so I want to bring that in really quickly and just bring up this beautiful image. This is from the Rider-Waite Tarot. And you see this person standing there with the three wands, looking out, across the sea to the open vistas and sky, what's before them. And the Three of Wands is what happens when a bold plan meets real determination. You've already made the choice. You've already lit the fuse. Now you're watching the horizon for signs that it's working. Spoiler, it is. And this is from tarot.com. This card is all about expansion, foresight, and trust in the process. It's the entrepreneurial spirit, the long distance crush, the leap of faith with just enough backup to make things exciting instead of reckless. The view is wide, the energy is rising. Stay with it. When upright, the Three of Wands signals progress. You're past the should I phase. Now it's about pacing yourself through the becoming. This card encourages long-term vision, global thinking, and a certain faith in delayed gratification. The seeds you planted are starting to stretch toward the light. Opportunities may come from unexpected places or faraway ones. So this can be about unexpected Uranus. It's aspected all month. And really much longer. And then it could be something foreign or far away from us that surprises us and brings forth a union, an opportunity to again create and in crossing the threshold of the new. So stay ready and keep moving toward what calls you. In the most traditional version of the Three of Wands, a figure stands tall on a cliff, gazing out over water as ships sail toward, or is it away from, the horizon. This isn't daydream energy anymore. You've already made the move, and now you get to see what comes back. This is about your ships coming in. Sometimes it's about what you plant now, and you're awaiting those ships to return. It can also mean that you've already done that planting, and those ships have sailed, and they're returning, and thereby you're waiting to see what comes back. The three of Wands planted firmly in the ground represent foundation, intention, and progress already in motion. The ocean, that's the world of possibility, expansion, and long-distance vision. Whether you're waiting for results, watching your influence ripple outward, or plotting your next bold step, this card's symbolism points to the quiet confidence of someone who knows their efforts are about to pay off. So this is about not giving up before the miracles appear. And the magic, our main theme is the voice of reason, magic abounds, and Dragonfly Medicine Revisited. So this Three of Wands is playing out. The three wands, just going to bring up the image again. Note the three wands, okay? And then again, note in our current energies, these three ones. It's 1, 10, 1, but the ones become, so these ones in triplicate, and how that energy is moving us forward to receive the new, because we've planted the seeds, we've taken the steps. Or you're just embarking on it. So it's to know that by doing so, it will return, those riches, but it's based on the purity of the intention and the effort and the desire and the will and the alignment, the listening, and that faith in the unseen. So now let's jump back. We're going to bop back to our main thing. which of course is the voice of reason, magic abounds, dragonfly medicine. So the voice of reason. Spiritually, the voice of reason acts as an internal, intuitive, and moral guide, often identified as conscience, the Holy Spirit, or innate divine guidance, like fitra in Islam, that steers individuals towards truth, righteousness, and alignment with God, with the divine. It acts as a calm, logical anchor that prevents emotional impulsivity, helps distinguish right from wrong, and encourages moral, spirit-led decision making. So again, with all of this creative energy, then with all the water energy, it's this piece of making sure that we're not being impulsive, that we're being a voice of reason. It's the voice of reason, that we're being reasoned. We're taking things piece by piece, step by step, to walk through these energies, the eclipse energies, the Saturn Neptune energies, conjunct energies, the Mercury retrograde energies, because this whole 2026, it's a game changer. And so it is all about the creating, that God and the divine is creating anew. In Christian theology, the voice of reason is interpreted as an inner moral faculty that provides conviction and aligns actions with spiritual identity, sometimes functioning as the voice of the Holy Spirit. It goes beyond simple logic to include an intuitive understanding of the world, often calling individuals to higher ideals or warning them away from harmful choices. So it's about listening, really deeply listening, so that you make, in divine time, divine will, divine order, we're aligned with that, and thereby we make higher octave choices. It brings a cool head to chaotic situations, helping people to pause, evaluate situations based on truth, and act with wisdom rather than impulse. In Islamic context, this is the innate disposition within a human being that instinctively knows God and the divine and its goodness, serving as an inner call to truth. It's about purity. It's about your soul source connection, that alignment to the truth of that. And when that speaks, we need no words. It's a knowing. We just know. It is associated with acting with integrity, using objective evidence, and making decisions that honor God and the divine and others. This voice serves as a check on lower impulses, encouraging a grounded and ethical life, directing one's heart through the use of the mind. Or it's directing the mind through the use of the heart. It's really the inverse. And magic abounds. So again, spiritually, magic abounds signifies the universe is inherently enchanted with spiritual unseen forces accessible through intention, belief, and connection to nature, through meditation, through listening. It's that inner wisdom and compass that guides you. It represents the limitless, latent potential within the human spirit and the ability to influence reality by shifting one's consciousness, recognizing signs, and embracing synchronicity. So again, this is all about the signs, the symbols, the synchronicity, the knowing, the listening, the trusting, because the ego, mind, personality, human, the EMPH, it will run rampant, run amok, and get you all twisted up and everything. Get you into fear and hyperventilating and all that unnecessary stuff. And yet when we come back to center and we listen to the soul, we listen to the divine, we listen to God, we stay in alignment with that, then everything, all of that dissipates. And then you know what to do. You know the step to take. And you simply go forth in full faith and trust. True magic is about changing ourselves and awakening to infinite possibilities, not just changing the external world. It's always an inside job. So how we change ourselves from the inside out, then that manifests and reflects in our external world. It is an act of self-mastery and inner alchemy. Believing in magic means viewing the world as purposeful, where unseen forces, the unseen angels, energy, the divine, God, the all that is, operate beyond our rational understanding. It is a partnership with the unseen, with the universe, using tools like ritual, intention, prayer, faith, and words to manifest desires and shift energy. Magic Abounds encourages returning to a state of wonder, recognizing the sacred in the natural world, and tapping into the elemental power around us. This is about seeing, look at when you see faces in nature or in the clouds or in rock formations or in the tile in your home or the carpet. It's all, the unseen is all around us. It's with us. It's within us. We are the unseen in physical form. Magic is a way to move beyond limited, fear-based views, allowing us to see the deeper, symbolic, and interconnected reality. Ultimately, it is the realization that the sacred is not separate from daily life, but actively present within it. So the unseen is actively present. They are in reciprocity with us as we are with them, as we are with each other in the 3D. But it's to realize that, to open our minds and our beingness to the awareness of that, to the truth of that, the purity of it. Because it's time to initiate, take flight, release what no longer serves, and to take it piece by piece. Number 2 from the unseen is reclaiming your value. You rise to another level, which brings us, and then they gave me the word praise. And praise is our key word this week. And I'm just bringing it up, and here's this beautiful image of the white dove representing the Holy Spirit, the illuminated light behind it. And of course, praise means express warm approval or admiration for someone or something, to express a favorable judgment or give honor in verbal or physical expression to someone or something, to say or write good things about someone or something. In the original Greek, praise means to sing, to tell of, to give, or to confess. In simpler terms, it means to be thankful for God's blessings and to declare that good news to God, to the divine, and to others. It's more than just words. Praise is an active, visible display of our gratitude for all that is. The purpose of praise is to awaken in ourselves a higher realization of the omnipresence and the power of the divine around us, within us. And so praise is really this, and there are 7 types of praise: to worship with the extended hand, to sing, to laud, to kneel or to bow, to praise boastfully, to give worship by the extension of the hand in adoration, or agreeing with what has been done or will be done, to sing with instruments, to address in a loud tone, a loud adoration, a shout. But this praise is more than words. That's what's really key here. It's an active, visible display of gratitude. And of course, we know that gratitude reinforces, brings about greater abundance and prosperity and further gratitude. So when we practice gratitude on a daily basis, saying simple thank yous, thank you for the roof over my head, the warm bed, the nourishment, the beautiful people in my life, whatever it may be, but just to simply recite that brings about greater gratitude and abundance. It reinforces the narrative. So I'm going to jump over here and let's look at the astrological chart for the Saturn Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees in Aries. And again, I listen and I to these and interpret them intuitively. So what I heard when I looked at this chart, and you see that Jupiter is shooting out like 3, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer is shooting out 3 rays, meaning it's aspecting astrologically. And then Uranus just further up, almost at 12 o'clock. It's at 11:55, if you will. It's shooting out 3 strong rays and a 4th minor ray, if you will. What the unseen said was revolution, completion, compulsion. So this Saturn Neptune conjunction at the 0 degrees Aries point, that is literally a 36-year, the renewal of a 36-year cycle, but also hasn't happened in 6,000 plus years. It's speaking to this in terms of revolution, completion, compulsion. And the interesting thing about compulsion, in physics, compulsion is not a formal fundamental force, but it is often used colloquially to describe an impulsive force, which is a high magnitude force acting over a very short duration. Because their conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, 44, 45 arc minutes, is this highly charged impulsive force, high magnitude force, but its duration lasts. I mean, that exact conjunction lasts is a short duration. So, and they describe this compulsion as a force, as perhaps an explosion, causing a rapid change in momentum. It acts as an external agent, forcing a change in velocity, or more broadly, refers to deterministic external constraints governing motion. What the unseen was saying about this, with this chart where it's revolution, completion, compulsion, is that this event is revolutionary. It's going to advance humanity in ways we have yet to even believe or conjure or understand. It's a completion. It's that, in the ending is the beginning, and the beginning is the end. It's this completion and beginning, and then this compulsion, this force that has a greater arc in its, so it's got a short-term duration, but it alters things in an external manner, in an external reality and way. And from that, with that chart, number 3 from the unseen, they said, boom, double boom. So I'm just going to bring up the chart again so we can see this as I'm saying it. So boom, double boom. Jupiter retrograde and Uranus, quote, call the shots. And then I heard the phrase torpedo in the hole. Torpedo in the hole, of course, is when on a aircraft carrier or battleship and so forth, they place the torpedoes into this pressurized chamber that's flooded with compression and water or air. And before they hit the button and the external piece of the ship opens up and poof, the torpedo is launched. So this boom, double boom, Jupiter retrograde and Uranus, quote, call the shots. Torpedo in the hole. So this means that this, with them aspecting them, so this Saturn Neptune conjunction is being aspected by Jupiter retrograde and Uranus. There will be projectiles, propulsion, combustion, things that have yet to reveal themselves because the torpedo's in the hole. Meaning it's has not yet been launched. And Colleen is saying, after, yes, the S show last, we cannot come soon enough. So yes, there's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot breaking down. There's a lot of illusion. Mercury is in Pisces going retrograde. And so there's going to be a lot of internal reflection, re-looking, revisiting, reviewing, everything. All of this is in the final sign of the zodiac, this completion. And we're on the 27th, 28th of February coming up. I think it's Friday or Saturday. There's going to be like this 6-7 planet stellium and the lineup of the planets. And then there's going to be this whole movement of the planets all stacked up, a stellium in Aries, and they're going to be re-triggering that 0 degree point as they cross it. So We're moving, it's number 4 from the unseen. We're moving beyond the known into the unknown, a whole new world. And so there's this completion, this revolution, completion, compulsion, this moving, this finishing up. And, you know, Mercury, how we communicate, we think, it affects our personal lives and everything, retrograding at this moment, giving us this one final review, not a do-over, but a review of things before, again, we fully, the voice of reason, magic abounds, we take this initiation to move forward, and the 3 of Wands where the ships are coming in, and the seeds that we planted are materializing and bearing fruit, bringing back the riches, if you will. And if you're just planting them, to recognize that they'll be rippling out to be returned. But again, it always comes back to the purity of your intentions, your alignment, your faith, your perseverance, your willingness to show up, even and especially in the face of the unknown, the uncertainty. Because again, there's a point where the stasis becomes comfortable and we're not moving forward. So now let's move to Gene Key 55, and this is by Richard Rudd. It's the Gene Keys, and it's the Dragonfly's Dream. This week we meet Gene Key 55, whose highest purpose is to transform deep victimization into freedom. When you give time to the 55th Gene Key, it will open new pathways of possibility for you, and these will spread to many areas of your life. Give it time, therefore, and be patient, as a pregnant mother waits calmly for the inevitable birth of her child. The 55th Gene Key is the key, or a key, of prophecy. So again, with Mercury in Pisces, representing the whole of the whole in the water, the consciousness, there can be many things that come intuitively in the dreamscape and so forth. So be listening, be ready, and be listening. This next portion is a sutra and contemplation, and is an excerpt from the sage Richard Rudd's long-awaited Gene Keys I Ching for the Future Human, yet to be released book. So this is coming from his yet to be released book called The Sage. And this portion is called The Thief in the Night, Instructions for Riding a Whirlwind. And we are certainly, to Colleen's point and comment, we're riding a whirlwind for us to advance us forward. Before a whirlwind, do not tie things down. Rather, take the windows and doors off their hinges and lay out your dreams in the open grass. Then, when she comes, you will have nothing to lose. The contemplation is, in this line are gathered huge shifting forces and energies. If we tighten up before an initiation, we invite calamity. If we soften and become supple and surrendered, we invite magic. The whirlwind represents unexpected and massive change. When we are silently attuned to the soul, we can anticipate such times, just as our ancestors did. Likewise, the creatures of the earth can detect the hidden currents of a coming storm. Sometimes these storms stir up great emotions in our lives, or feelings of sadness or loss, but we are also invited to view the changes from the vantage point of the soul, which revels in the sea of change. The soul knows no death, so such times are received in the spirit of initiation, a wave we have chosen to ride at the deepest level. Knowing this, we can let go of a feeling of victim entirely and trust in the whirlwind. So we don't need to allow this. It's going to be natural that the energies of this time and this moment, this complete revolution and the deconstruction will stir up. It's a whirlwind. It's a force that is just stripping us all bare of the past to elevate us, to rise to the present future. And the best way to receive that, it's our key word, praise. It's to stay in alignment with praise, which is gratitude, deep felt gratitude for all that is. because we're moving beyond the known into the unknown, into a whole new world. This is gene key number 55, pardon me. And this whirlwind, it's number 5 from the unseen, which denotes change. And it was the title of the show from the beginning of February, where the rubber meets the road. It's go time. And this had to do with shifts in consciousness and an upgrade like no other. The plasma consciousness, the 4 aces, judgment, nothing more, nothing less, radical acceptance, picture perfect you, the soul you, and no holding back. Don't hold back. It's now or never time. And so and the permanence in truth. So all of this is talking to us about massive change and how to navigate it, because our ships are coming in. And to do so with grace and peace and confidence, purity, trust. Show up. Reveal them. Allow them to come in. I'm going to jump really quickly because that brought in where the rubber meets the road. It's go time. And then the numbers 7-11. And so I want to bring this up here, and here's a beautiful image of 7-11. Very mystical, magical numbers. And remember, 7 is the foundation of God's word, the completion and the foundation. 11 is the most intuitive number. Place them together. The power of 7-11. And so spiritually, angel number 7-11 symbolizes a powerful message of spiritual awakening, encouraging you to trust your intuition, embrace personal power, and align with your true life purpose. It signifies that your thoughts are manifesting rapidly, urging you to focus on positive outcomes and trust that the universe is supporting your growth. Seeing 7-11 often indicates you are undergoing a period of intense spiritual development, encouraging you to deepen your connection with the divine. This isn't a time to recede or pull back. It's a time to lean in. Go all in. This number is a sign to listen to your inner wisdom and intuition as you are being guided toward the right path. 7, and it means foregoing. If it means foregoing a path, then foregoing the path, because the new one will present itself. You'll know what to do. You may not know why, but you'll know what. 7-11 suggests your thoughts and actions are aligned with your desires. Focus on maintaining a positive mindset to manifest your goals as the universe, the unseen, the all that is, God, the divine, is backing you. Some interpretations, such as biblical references, view 7-11 as an assurance of divine love, comfort, and protection. It can represent a time of strategic transition, making a shift toward fulfilling your divine promises. This is what your soul came to do. And again, the ego, mind, personality, human can get in the way. And so this is about saying, calm down, EMPH, calm down. Let me listen to my soul, because this is a strategic transition marking a shift toward fulfilling your divine promises, what my soul came here to do, what it said it would do. And that trumps everything. In numerology, the number 7 resonates with wisdom, introspection, and spiritual enlightenment, while the number 1 represents new beginnings, creation, and independence. Together, 7-11 combines these energies to encourage personal empowerment with divine guidance. So it's not just, again, personal empowerment and running roughshod. It's harnessing the purity of that personal empowerment with divine wisdom, divine will, order, timing, guidance, soul source connection. So, and now let's jump back. We're going to go to, with Gene Key 55 and the Dragonfly. This is Dragonfly Medicine Revisited. It's by Jess Hagen at Urban Healers of LA. The romance between wind and water catches fire in the beauty of Dragonfly, quickening our sense of the ever-shifting nature of reality. All is seeming and all is change. The journey of Dragonfly teaches how to navigate the dream stuff we call life. She defies logic. She has the power to summon new energy into being. She is the thespian conjuring magic into our imagination. So you see all these references. The voice of reason, magic abounds. There's all these references to magic at this moment, this time. Dragonfly has downsized since prehistory, but her shape and form have become a mythic icon within the human psyche, calling forth the iridescence of magic and illusions. Iridescence is a color phenomenon which does not utilize the common materials known as pigments we find in rocks, plants, and our own skin. Iridescence is achieved by the architecture of dragonflies' wings and body, which bends and refracts light in such a way as to create seemingly otherworldly vibrancy. The dragonfly is a dance of light. The lessons behind the magic of any spectacle are best illustrated in the stages of Dragonfly's life as she moves from water to air. We're moving from water to air, fire and air, earth and water to fire and air. The dragonfly spends most of her life in the developmental stage known as nymph form. Nymphs live in still waters for several years, embodying gills and living life as fish do. This is, equal to being the caterpillar. So being the nymph is being the caterpillar, and how in all of this time we've been in these forms, the caterpillar, the nymph. But now we're moving to the dragonfly, the butterfly stage. One fine day, this young nymph is suddenly gripped with an unstoppable conviction to climb out of the water, crack open her childhood form, and emerge from the husk of her old self into her adult being, the dragonfly. This process of metamorphosis is a profound metaphysical teaching for the human spirit. Cracking through and emerging from her own old body shell, Dragonfly lights the stage of the world for a few months before returning once more to the earth. Her life is brief and spectacular, and with it she shows us that it is possible to completely transform a way of being using only the intelligence found within. That is our divine DNA. That is our divine essence, our soul, our divinity. That's the intelligence found within us. That same power to find those answers lies within you. No one gives you the answers. You accept them when you are ready to see them. Dragonfly shows us how to undergo deep, profound change on a cellular level. This isn't topical. This is deep introspection, deep transmutation, transformation, metamorphosis on a cellular level. We change ourselves from the inside out. This medicine of transformation is shared by all living creatures. Our own process of metamorphosis is observable in the awkward stages of life. Life is change. Change is inevitable. To resist becoming what nature intends causes pain and dis-ease. We've come to do what the soul came to do, not what the ego, mind, personality, human wants to do or doesn't want to do, but what the soul said it would do. To not do that, to resist that, creates pain and dis-ease. Resisting the flow of change out of fear of danger ironically puts you in much greater danger than if you yielded to the truth of your being. When caught in the illusions of stasis, you are vulnerable to surprise attacks from the ever onrushing world around you. It means when we're stagnant in stasis, then we're getting bashed about as opposed to being in the flow with it. The dragonfly spirit animal totem knows from experience that change is growth, and growth on a cosmic level sometimes involves downsizing to allow for balance. Let the old fall away and transmute into a new expression of self. Dragonfly asks you to break through the mental constraints keeping your colors dull. Crack open the old identity and become the next experience. There's so much here on offer. This time to initiate, this reclaiming your value. You rise to another level. Praise. The boom, double boom, where Jupiter retrograde and Uranus are calling the shots, and there's the torpedo in the hole. We're moving beyond the known into the unknown, a whole new world. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's go time. And the 7-11, all this wisdom and internal guidance, and the dragonfly. Why? Number 6 from the unseen. They said fast track. Now, you can spell that as 2 words, and there's also then a toll collection system called Fast Track in the state of California in the United States. Number 6 is about spirit and service. So they're saying fast track, accelerated, here's that beautiful, accelerated advance. And then that song, Ain't Nothing Like the Real Thing, Baby. So there's nothing like soul you, the real you. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. We are on a collision course, if you will, of accelerated advance, this fast tracking us, moving us forward, because again, we're going from earth and water to fire and air. Fire is creative force. Air is thought, action, how we move, fluidity. Marry those two together, they move vastly faster than earth, water. Fire and air, it's unstoppable. And so we have these elements here that are showing up. And pardon me, and I want to bring in our mantra. I reclaim my sovereignty. There's a beautiful aspect about how we are. This is about reclaiming who we are at our center, at our origin, which is sovereign. And sovereign is the ultimate power to self-govern, supreme independent control and lawmaking authority over oneself. And so when that is done in alignment with the divine, with the unseen, with God, the all that is, it's unshakable, it's unstoppable, it's accelerated advance. But we have to recognize where we've given away our power. Where have you given away your power? Where are you out of alignment with it? The purity of it, the truth of it. Where are you living by someone else's expectation or desires or truths? And you reclaim them. Just bringing up the image again, one more time. I reclaim my sovereignty. Ultimate power to self-govern, supreme independent control, and lawmaking authority over oneself, over myself, in harmony with the divine, your soul source connection, the unseen, so that you know it's true north, it's pure. So now let's move to, I'm going to go to North Point Journal. This is Pam Youngins at North Point Journal, and she's talking about the convergence zone. We are in a time of significant flux as we navigate the convergence of three of wands, three powerful cosmic energy streams. One emitted by last week's solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th of February, another radiating from next week's total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd, and the third emanating from the Saturn Neptune as they align at 0 degrees Aries. The great unraveling that is underway, initiated by the Saturn-Neptune alignment, will be strongly apparent for many weeks to come. While the exact conjunction of the two planets occurred on February 20th, their energy fields continue to commingle through at least the end of May. So again, this is creating a new 36-year cycle. It hasn't happened in 6,000 years at 0 degrees Aries. That hasn't happened, them coming together at that degree. And then we have these eclipses. We have Mercury retrograde. There's so much just cram-packed into 2026, and certainly the beginning, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of 2026. And remember, eclipses arc out for 6 months, the energies of them. So Pam Youngins, North Point Journal, the Mars-Uranus effect. Creating sparks this week is a challenging aspect between Mars in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. The square perfects on February 27th, but will be in effect for several days before and after that date. When Energizer Mars interacts with disruptive Uranus, events tend to occur suddenly or in surprising ways. Since this is a hard aspect, symptoms on a personal level can include impatience, frustration, impulsivity, and unexpected or irrational anger. So this is where deep breaths, step by step, while it's time to initiate and take flight and release what no longer serves, step by step, with clarity, with alignment, with grace and patience. The urge to rebel against restrictions is strong, and yet we are cautioned about acting too impulsively. On a transpersonal level, Uranus is the great awakener. Thus, strong Uranus aspects can correspond with either breakthroughs or breakdowns. depending on what is needed to raise our consciousness. I'm all for breakthroughs. No, don't need the breakdowns, breakthroughs. I would encourage everyone to seek breakthroughs. And to do that, you've got to be walking the walk, talking the talk, be in alignment. Because if you're not, or out of fear, you're holding back, or you're not advancing yourself, it's the cosmic 2x4, it's the breakdown. You get whacked, as opposed to face the fears, face the fire, see what's on the other side. See it from a state of joy, of excitement. Yes, it's scary, but okay. But it can be everything you've been looking for or waiting for on the other side of that fear. You just have to make the choice. And Pam Youngin's North Point Journal, she concludes with fixed star algol. While Uranus exactly aligned with the fixed star algol on February 3rd of 2026, it is still within orb, 1 degree 12 arc minutes, of the star when it squares Mars this Friday, thus activating its influence. Algol is part of the constellation Perseus and represents Medusa's head. In ancient astrology, Algol was called the demon star, a symbol of destruction, violence, drastic change, chaos, and extreme events. Through the more enlightened lens of modern astrology, Algol represents the power of the feminine to reclaim control. I reclaim my sovereignty, to reclaim control over her life, to resist patriarchal oppression and abuse, and to rise above victimization. So we're rising above the old, the patriarchy, the victimization, the oppression and the suppression of the divine feminine within all of us, and certainly within those that are in the female body experiencing this. Yes, but we all have it. And so this is where we're rising above this victimization. We are putting a period at the end of that sentence, or an exclamation point, as we move into this whole new world, this whole new way of being. And lastly, I want to go to Astrology by Lauren, and she is talking about the Saturn Neptune between the eclipses. She begins, and pardon me, in this week's show I'm using her quotes. They're so beautiful. So this is a quote by Charlotte Sophia Castle. The spiritual warrior hides from nothing. We jump into the fire. We dive into the ocean. We become the sea. So we are all spiritual warriors, and we are being called. We are destined at this time. But we have a choice, to harness the voice of reason, the beauty of the dragonfly medicine, and to recognize that magic abounds. We're being elevated. It's a fast track, accelerated advance. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. 3 exclamation points. Eclipse seasons can be exhausting, and one thing that often becomes apparent at each eclipse season is that there are forces at hand that are so much larger than ourselves, and there's no telling where we will land when all is said and done. Just 3 days after the solar eclipse on February 17th, Saturn and Neptune perfect their conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, at the very first degree of the first sign of the tropical zodiac. This conjunction of Saturn and Neptune speaks of potential. A new beginning is emerging out of the chaos that exists between the 2 eclipses. This is where the fates weave our destinies at the foot of the sacred tree of life. Pardon me. And where and when the gods speak to us in whispers and challenge us to fulfill our destinies, what the soul came to do. And that's something to ask yourself, what did my soul say it would do? And then listen. And then claim that. Reclaim that sovereignty. Reach for the stars. Before Neptune and Saturn entered Aries, we were being asked to connect with spirit, to our ideals, to the greater good, to the things that matter most to us in our heart of hearts. This is Pisces, emotion and water and gifts. To that which invests our lives with meaning. So ask, what are the things that really matter in the end? So much so that you would be willing to take a stand and make certain sacrifices for it. It's time to get serious, and it's time to get tough. This is where number 5, where the rubber meets the road. It's go time, 7-Eleven. And Astrology by Lauren is speaking. It's time to get serious and it's time to get tough. Aries is a sign of courage and initiative. And that is true even in the face of what might feel like despair and disenchantment. Fear of the unknown can thrive in this weather. Saturn Neptune transits can bring loss. They can also bring a fear of loss. The structures that we previously relied on are no longer available, and we struggle to maintain our footing in this weather. It is our job to battle the monsters that emerge out of the shadows at these times. It requires courage, strength, and belief in ourselves. Thankfully, Pluto sitting in the wings and sextile, that's a harmonious aspect, sextile Saturn Neptune, can bring us the strength and determination that is needed to build better structures and systems that will further support our vision for the future. What Saturn Neptune weather does do is test our faith. For this is when we are being asked to put our ideals and our faith into application. It's where the rubber meets the road. We can't just say or talk about it. This is, are we doing it? Are we actually going to align with the purity of the truth of our soul and our soul source connection and what our soul came to do, and manifest it step by step, piece by piece? Astrology by Lauren. We have the potential to manifest our dreams. Neptune is a planet that inspires. Saturn gathers the necessary facts and tools that can give the inspiration form. Neptune is visionary, vast, and filled with potential. Saturn is methodical, paying attention to all the details that would otherwise be overlooked. Together, they can bring the commitment and determination to do the work that is necessary to make those dreams a closer and more achievable reality and see it through to its completion. It's the Three of Wands, the ships coming in. This is our second quote. It's by C.S. Lewis that Astrology by Lauren is using. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. So courage is the form at the testing point of every virtue, where the rubber meets the road. Much can be revealed in eclipse weather, and it is all we can do to process it all and make sense of it. So it may actually be something of a blessing that Mercury makes its retrograde station on February 25th, that's today/tomorrow, depending on where you are in the world, in the contemplative sign of Pisces. We are closing out a cycle. Endings are making way for beginnings. There is so much to process. When Mercury is in Pisces, we are asked to speak from our heart center, heart to heart, soul to soul. When Mercury entered its shadow, it also made an exact conjunction, being together with, to the North Node, also in Pisces. Gathering, collaborating, reflecting on the previous cycle that is now closing. Revolution, completion, compulsion. When Mercury makes its direct station at the equinox, it will be on March 20th, it will be conjunct the North Node once again. Like a transcendental roadmap, Mercury is working to get us all on track. But to do this well, we are going to have to listen for the voice in the silence, the voice of reason, the whispers in the night, the messages without words. It takes trust, belief, and insight to understand these messages. However, doing so can do nothing less than show us the way forward. There will be distractions, there will be upsets and sudden shifts. All the more reason to make this important connection with our innermost selves. Meditate, read poetry and scripture, pray, chant, walk in nature, take calm, soothing baths. Love, write your song, sing your name. For it is this that will transcend the chaos and cast the tricksters aside. This is our homework and our medicine for this time of Mercury in retrograde, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, Sun in Pisces, all of this water that's happening. And she closes with a beautiful quote by Maya Angelou. Listen to yourself, and in that quietude, you might hear the voice of God. So in the quietude, listen to yourself. In that quietude, might just hear the voice of God. You'll hear your soul source connection. You'll hear your soul speaking. It'll be a knowing. It will be pure and true. It will be unmistakable. You may not have all the answers. We may not know where all of this is going to go. What we do know, though, is all of it is happening in divine time, divine will, divine order, and it's happening for us. And so we simply need to face forward, face the truth, allow ourselves to move forward. And last but not least is number 7. And there are times when the unseen gives me something where I literally have to look it up. So what I heard was, chief among you will see the 7 stars. And chief among you, let me just bring it up. This is in regards to Revelation 1:20. So the primary Bible verse regarding 7 stars held in a right hand is Revelation 1:20, where Master Jesus explains the vision to John. Quote, "The mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches." Chief among you, while the verse explains the 7 stars, the phrase chief among you relates to Master Jesus' teaching on servant leadership. It's in Matthew and Luke, where he states that the greatest or chief among his followers should be a servant. Some interpretations link these concepts, suggesting that the stars, the leaders, are called to be servants in the churches or the lampstands. So, chief among you will see the 7 stars. This is a call to your soul source connection, what your soul came to do, to this divine moment in time, this rewriting of the story, of the script of our lives, of humanity, and how we are to, again, up level. It was one of the key words, up level, and how in this era and age of the matriarchal era, the Aquarian era, the we the people era, how when we lead and serve, it's an inversion of where we've been, and yet it's the greatest, highest calling, to lead with service, to lead with your soul, and how in doing so brings about great magic, great synchronicity, great abundance and prosperity, goodness, and the ripple effect of that. And so, chief among you will see the 7 stars. We're being called, and as John of Patmos, exiled on the island, saw from the unseen the Master Jesus, the risen Master Jesus, per Revelations 1:20, and per Revelations period. This was the message. And he guided John to tell everyone, because there would be a time when all of this would come about. Now, when that happens, that's up to the unseen. However, the message, it's number 7, it's the foundation and the fulfillment and the completion of God's word. 7:11, chief among you will see the 7 stars. It's to lead with the purity of your soul in service to a greater good, the greater humanity. And by reciprocity and synchronicity and everything, we will individually receive. And it's a game changer in how we live, or what it means to be human. Just want to close out. So Colleen is saying, we can't go any lower. And yet that's the point, is to recognize where we've been in order to know where we're going. Because we're not taking the goo and the shadow and everything, the impurities of the past time and era, into the new. They're being shown to us at this point so that we deeply, deeply, deeply see, feel, recognize the goo And that goo is the collective, the individual and the collective choices that we've all made. Where have we buried our head in the sand? Where have we, compromised ourselves, our soul? That saying, where have we sold ourselves to the devil? Well, but that doesn't go into the new. There is this demarcation line that says we're being afforded a higher octave, a new, that renewal. With great power comes great responsibility. So the voice of reason, magic abounds, dragonfly medicine revisited. I still look forward to seeing you all next week when we cover the total lunar eclipse in Virgo that's going to occur on March 3rd. So we will see you all for that next week. Until then, be well, be patient and kind with yourselves, piece by piece. Time to initiate. Keep taking the steps. We'll see you next week.